Alex Eala loses to Chinese Wang Xinyu in ASB Classic semifinals. Manila, Philippines. 7th seed Chinese Wang Xinyu survived match point and dashed Filipino Alex Eala's finals hope with a 5-7, 7-5, 6-4 win in the ASB Classic semifinals in Auckland, New Zealand on Saturday. The 4th-seeded Eala bounced back from a 1-5 deficit to win the opening set, forced the decider, trailing again in the second set, 2-3. Eala grabbed the lead at 5-3, but Wang swept the next 4 games to force the decider. Wang led 4-0 in the third set before Eala rallied to within 4-5. The Chinese then won the next 2 games to claim the match in just under 3 hours. Till my heart stops. So close yet so far. The 20-year-old Eala posted on Instagram. Crazy battle. It was a crazy battle from the start to the end, for sure. I feel more pressure when I'm up 5-0 than when we were love. I'm just really happy that I got through this one today and through to my first ever final here, Wang said in the post-match interview. The ASB Classic website reported that hundreds of Filipinos snapped up ground passes and gathered around center court and giant screens to cheer on Eala, creating one of the loudest atmospheres of the tournament. Wang, 24, will play in her second career final following a runner-up finish at the Berlin Open in June last year. She will face top seed Elena Svitolina of Ukraine, a 7-6, 5, 6-2 winner over third seed Eva Jovic of the United States. We practiced together before the tournament, so I knew what to expect from her. Even then, she's really surprised me with the way she's striking the ball and moving really well. Many more titles for her to come, definitely in the future, the world number 31 Svitolina said about her 18-year-old opponent. Eala beat number 5 Marga Linette of Poland, 6-3, 6-2. in the quarterfinal on Friday. Her other victories were over Croatian's Donna Vekic, 4-6, 6-4, 6-4 first round, and Petra Marcinko, 6-0, 6-2 second round. PNA. A Sunday of dreams and defeat. Alex Eala's ASB Classic semifinal heartbreak. In the serene, tennis-rich city of Auckland, New Zealand, where oceans and zephyrs meet tennis courts, Alex Eala stood on the precipice of another historic milestone. It was January 10, 2026, a date that would be etched in her career not for triumph, but for a performance so bravely rendered, it felt almost heroic. The ASB Classic semifinals had set the stage for one of the most riveting battles of the WTA calendar's early stretch, a battle that pitted 2 rising forces, each with momentum, hunger, and belief. On one side was the young Philippine star, Alex Eala, athletic, tenacious, and peaking as she entered another potential breakthrough moment. On the other was China's Wang Xinyu, crafty, resilient, and equally hungry for a final berth. What unfolded was not just a tennis match. It was a narrative of momentum shifts, resilience under pressure, grit under exhaustion, and the unflinching spirit of competition. In every rally, there was a story, in every point, a lesson. It was nearly 3 hours of pure drama, a drama that began with disadvantage and ended with unfulfilled promise. Of comebacks and letdowns, the match story. From the first serve, momentum danced like a flame in the wind. Wang Xinyu appeared to take early control, swift, aggressive, and dictating play, breaking Eala's rhythm and racing to a 4-0 lead with relentless pressure. It looked as if the match might be over before it had truly begun. Then, almost suddenly, Eala's response arrived. It was not a flurry of winners, but a shift in belief. She clawed her way back, pounding forehands, chopping those beautiful cross-court slices, and sending Wang scurrying. Before the crowd could blink, she had staged a stunning recovery, 6 consecutive games, rubbing her opponent of the opener, 7-5. This was the Alex Eala that the world had grown to admire, the tenacious Filipino competitor who seemed to thrive on belief itself. And yet, tennis, as life, often swings in uncanny cycles. In the second set, Eala again found momentum. She pushed her way into a commanding lead, saving it 5-3, poised on the brink of the final. It was a moment pregnant with possibility. Her first WTA final this season beckoned. But sport, in its capricious nature, denied her the closing shot. Wang, composed and unruffled, answered game for game, seizing 4 straight games and drawing the sets level. The pendulum had swung again, and this time, it seemed bent on breaking Eala's resolve. By the final set, It was clear this was no ordinary duel. The players were exhausted, bodies heavy, minds tested, with every point carrying the weight of a potential career moment. Wang surged ahead early, and although Eala lifted her level once more, rallying to narrow the gap, it was ultimately her rival who seized the decisive moments. At 6-4 in the final set, Wang Xinyu sealed victory, closing out a match that will be remembered not simply for the scoreline, but for how it was earned, through tension, tension again, and then sheer will. More than a scoreline, the emotional undercurrents. Sports aren't just about wins and losses, they are about story arcs. This match carried layers of emotion, clarity, and complexity. For Eala, there was exhilaration, compassion from the crowd, and belief. Hundreds of Filipino fans packed the ASB Center, some even gathered by giant screens, creating one of the loudest atmospheres of the tournament. Their chants and cheers forged a kind of collective heartbeat that pulsed through every rally Eala contested. There was teetering anxiety at match point, a sliver of possibility as Eala served for the second time in the second set, and then the narrowest of margins that sent the contest into the deciding set. There was undeniable momentum that she forced back twice from sizable deficits. Yet, there was also the frustration of opportunity slipping away, that brutal moment when a match point looms and then vanishes. Eala's attempt to close with a bold winner just sailed long, and that became an emotional hinge upon which the rest of the match turned. In her post-match reflection, Eala captured it succinctly. So close yet so far. Her words, simple and heartfelt, resonated far beyond the lines of the tennis court. They spoke of effort and proximity to breakthrough, the kind that every athlete understands intimately. Context, the bigger picture in Eala's career. To contextualize this match for fans and observers, it helps to take a step back. Alex Eala's 2025 season was remarkable. She broke into the WTA Top 100, captured her first WTA 125 title, and even secured a gold medal at the Southeast Asian Games, a significant milestone not just for her, but for Philippine tennis as a whole. That momentum carried into 2026, and her ASB Classic campaign confirmed it. Before encountering Wang, Eala had dispatched several strong opponents, including a commanding quarterfinal victory over Poland's Magda Linette, a seasoned player who could have derailed her momentum. Reaching the semifinals wasn't an accident. It was the product of consistency, resilience, and a thoroughly earned spot among the WTA's rising stars.